Welcome everyone. Ontario, Kari, Karine, Ahab, Philip, George, Glenn, Jerome, Mark, Masushi, Nicola, Renat, Sandro, Sunny, Hissen, Timothy, Tino, Yuli, Zane. Thank you all for joining. We'll start in a few minutes. On our third webinar, focusing more on keywords. Anyone that has questions can feel free to send the questions in the chat. We'll also have a Q&A session at the end. So really welcome to everyone. So what's on the agenda today? Today we're going to focus more on keywords and how we're actually adding keywords to the system, how we're evaluating and adding additional keywords, how do we check the keywords against the pages that are being optimized, and how do we actually remove keywords that we added that we no longer need or want, or we want to optimize our plan better. So in order to choose keywords, basically, we would like to choose effective keywords. We would like to choose relevant keywords and keywords that would be optimal in their presence and placement inside the search snippet view. So this is our objective, and this is what we'll try to achieve. The first thing we would like to explain is that Nitro will not use keywords that are not relevant to the web page content. This is a very important parameter that needs to be understood, because if the website page does not support the keyword, then basically we cannot optimize that keyword. So there has to be some relevancy to the web page content. And this is like the base of how the system works when it works with keywords. Now, having said that, it doesn't mean that we cannot optimize pages without keywords. We can, but we have no understanding what is a keyword, what's your objectives, and it will be based on page content and not on the understanding of how the keyword performs. Google's best practice, which you can see on this page, actually explains, and we were asked today also by one of the comments on AppSumo, is adding metadata, meta tags still relevant in the new era of ChatGPT type queries? And the answer is yes. Even Google, in their best practices, they explain that they expect the website owners to add all the data to the website. And it is still valid, and it will always be valid, because only the website owner knows what's the page about, and they need to update it. And this is exactly what we're doing. So we're going to focus on two modes of updating keywords, one at setup and one at a later stage. When you add a website, the first phase is adding the URL and then adding some keywords. You can add keywords intuitively at this stage and then refine them at a later stage. So don't worry too much about the keywords you add initially, but it's required. It's best to add some if you have them. If not, then we will do it as a second phase. One of the tools that we provide, which is very effective, is the ability to evaluate the keywords before we actually affect them into production. We have a module that is called pre-evaluation in the system, which will demo this in a minute. And you can put as many keywords as you want within your plan limits, but it doesn't count towards your plan limits. So we will explain how to use that function. One of the tools that we use, although you can use any keyword research tool, and we will explore that a little bit more, is Google Keyword Planner. It helps us, and I think it could be useful for any website owner, to try and understand which keywords are relevant to the website based on its existing performance, based on its existing content. This distinction is very important because what happens is, in some cases, you do keyword research for creating additional content, but if the content does not exist at this time on the website, then there is nothing to measure against. So Nitro SEO actually focuses on existing content on the website. If in the future you will add more content, it's fine. It will then look at that content and optimize that content. So this is related to the keyword planner. And the result of this pre-evaluation mode is that you get a list of suggested keywords after you enter them and analyze them. You get a list of suggested keywords, which you can then take a look. Is this keyword relevant to my business? Would I like to optimize it? If the score here is green, it means it's possible to be optimized. Whether you will reach first page position or not is yet to be seen, but it is relevant to your web page content, and it's relevant and can be optimized. So you just need to press this cogs icon or multi-select and press the active all. An important element of Nitro is the ability to build a cluster or topic authority around multiple keywords, multiple variants. This is very important because I think that if you try to optimize just for a single keyword, a short keyword, a high volume keyword, and just focus on that, you don't have enough variety, variations in your content to really get authority. And one of the nice things about Nitro is the ability to create a lot of keywords around the topic with multiple variants, with multiple nuances, and then watch the performance of an entire set just by entering, for example, automated SEO. In our case, you can see all the keywords that these two words exist in them, and then see the performance of this cluster of keywords in that. And you can track it and see how it performs. So this is very important. We do not recommend to focus only on a single keyword. It's very generic. 2 keywords is possible, but we recommend to do it in parallel to a lot of other keywords that are longer tail. The reason that we recommend longer tail is because the conversion rate is much higher. This is an analysis that was done recently by Neil Patel, digital marketing agency. It's quite extensive, and they found higher conversion rates, higher lead generation, in general, better performance with keywords that are between 3 to 6 and also 7 for higher revenue generating. So don't be afraid to add longer tail keywords to the system. The system can handle it without a problem, and it's more effective, and we recommend adding a cluster of keywords around the topic, even if they are a little bit longer. So that's our recommendation, but don't extend it above 7 because it might be just not realistic to type such a long query. And lastly, we will show you how to clean your account from keywords you're not actually using. After a certain amount of time where you stabilize on the keywords that you want, then you can remove the ones that are no longer relevant to you. And there are 3 parameters that we will actually suggest to look at. First of all, what's the SERP? Are you ranking for this keyword, yes or no? Does it have a low or high ranking potential? And does Google see it as relevant to you? All of these can be set in the settings here. And then you can apply the filter and delete these keywords or remove them or make them inactive. This way, this is how you clean your account. Okay, so what we will do now, we will revert to a demo to show you how this actually works. So basically, we can take how we do the keyword research. We'll start with a demo how we do that. We go into Google Keyword Planner. And this can be done for any website, for any region. It's a free tool. And as I said, you can use different tools. We don't necessarily endorse this one. It's just the easiest one to demonstrate with. So we go for start a website. Start with the website. Put the URL, choose region, choose language, and get results. This particular case, more than 1,000. We sort them from highest volume going down, and we can select them. It usually, by default, selects 100, but you can select as many as you want. Then we go back to our system, go to add keywords. Now, if I'll add them in optimize, it will immediately start optimizing them, and it will go towards your plan limits. If you choose pre-evaluation, I just pasted them here. By the way, you can upload from a file. Everything is possible. And if I add them this way, it will actually only evaluate them. And as I mentioned before, once it finishes with this evaluation, it will add them into suggested mode, like I've displayed here, like this. Yes. So after I've chosen the keywords that I want to stabilize for, then, for example, we can check performance based on keywords that have good promotional potential, have good SERP. We can have a view of that. And then we can ask to see top 15. We'll talk about the volatility a little bit later, but here you can see all the top 15 average, how they moved from a year ago to now. For example, what's the average for each one of the search engines. In this particular case, we're monitoring 3 different regions. So these are the good and performing keywords. If we want to extend on a certain topic, we think this topic is of good and importance to us, we can do another type of query here, and that is suggest keywords, discover keywords based on a keyword, as against before we did it on a website. So now we're doing it the opposite, based on a keyword, and we request to get suggestions based on the keyword. So this is the keyword we entered. You can see that it's about 500 searches. We can ask to see the results, and then we can choose the ones we want and add them. Similarly, copy and add them to the system, again in pre-evaluation mode. If they are good and suitable for the website, then we will activate them. So the tools for the research are freely available. You can use your favorite SEMrush, Ahrefs, and any other tool you prefer, or any other free tools like we just described now. So once the keywords are in the system, there are a few things that we suggest to look at. First of all, whether the keywords are actually being used by the system. And the brand name is something that we monitor, but we don't promote, because it's being promoted generically by the system by adding the business name. So this is why it's not promoted at the moment. So we have 2 variants of the business name. This is something that I would recommend to you also. We see that sometimes people add the business name and promote it. So it kind of creates over promotion of the business name, which in many cases you're already ranking high for the business name. So usually we have to deactivate that, but we keep monitoring it just to understand the performance. So when you look at the keywords now, you see the keywords that are performing and least performing, and you want to know which ones are being used. So let's just take a look. You see these numbers here. They actually explain how many pages these pages. Sorry, let's look at this one as an example. It shows how many pages it's attached to, it's assigned to. So if we'll go into this page, you can see that these are the rankings for the 3 regions. This is the Google relevance that was received. In this case, it's for the home page, and for another page here, this one. So Google gave high relevancy to the home page and to another page, this one. The third one is this page here, but in terms of assignment, it was assigned only to these pages. And you can see the score for each one of them. So the system automatically identifies all the pages that are relevant, and the keywords that has a 0 here, it means that they are generally being pushed by other keywords if they have a good score. So this momentum of creating a topic authority, even if you are not promoting every single keyword in the system, it creates a very positive momentum for the entire set sorry, that is promoted. Yes, okay. So we talked about that, and then let me show how we're actually looking at say automation. We want to look at the topic, for example. Let's look. Actually, let's choose the one that I showed before. Yes, so if, for example, I'm focusing on a certain topic, and I just want to see okay, people ask to slow down. Apologies, we will do it slower. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. You go into keyword manage. You press keyword manage. This way you see the entire section of the keywords, and then you just put the terms you want to search for in the search box. Sorry, like this. And it shows you the 5, 10, as many positions as you would like to see at that particular time. Let's look at 5 positions. So this automated SEO is included in these variations. Some of them are 3 words, some of them are 4 words, which is the sweet spot definitely for many topics. And then you select the ones you want to monitor, and you just ask to see the performance over time. This, by the way, is our system was countering the drops that were changes as a result of some algorithm changes or for other reasons, and it recovered those terms back to first page positions. So you can see it here. Of course, it's not guaranteed. It's not always possible, but in many cases it's possible. And this is what the system does automatically. So this is how you see the performance of this cluster. And these are fairly good and fairly performing keywords. So this is the way to look at them. And when you're trying to see whether you're performing in a certain field, then this is how I suggest you do it. As against to take a single term. Let me explain what I mean. If you take just a single term like this, it might be that in some situations it might not have a good score. And just to be fixated on a single appearance and say the score is 100, when you have a lot of other variations that score much higher, then the correct way to look at that would be to look at the entire set. Now, some keywords you will never get improved, and some you will. But the important thing is that you look at the cluster and whether the cluster is performing. And this is why we show you this part. You need to look to see how the cluster is performing. So you see performance in 3 different search engines in a cluster of multiple keywords. And this is the right way to track whether a keyword or a topic is performing or not. And the more variations you have of the keywords inside this analysis, the better. And you can choose any topic you wish from this list here. I just gave an example here, but you can choose any. Some of them, of course, may perform SEO automation, best SEO, etc. By the way, adding best to keyword apparently has a positive boost on ranking. This was also identified in the survey that I mentioned before. So you can either add it to the keyword itself, or we have a concept that is called the prefix, which I can show to you in the setup section. Yes. Yes. So here you can say effective, best, top, leading, and the system based on relevancy can also use that. So definitely go for keywords that have relation to best, for example. You can also add it to the keyword, but not overdo that. Okay, so the second thing that the system does automatically is it creates user search intent. In some cases, you need to review them and adjust them to your specific target audience, but it's very easy to take a look and look at what the user search intent might be. And in certain situations, certain pages, we may decide to add this user search intent into the tags. But this is a different topic, which we already described once, and we will describe much more in future webinars. So, yes, so this is the primary technique that we're using. We talked about adding keywords. We talked about how you present the keywords and how you monitor them. Let's look now at how do we, if your plan has certain limits and you want to clean that plan, what do you do? So our recommendation is the following. The keyword, and basically any table on our website has a filter. And here you can request to see any variation or any type of keyword status. And one of the parameters that we will try to identify now is whether which keywords Google believes that are relevant to your website. So 0 means not relevant. Oh, sorry, not this one, this one. Yes, 0 means not relevant. More than 1 is the best. And 100, I think we have only 99. Yes. So now it will show all the keywords that are relevant according to Google. Let's see. So 294 keywords according to Google are relevant to our website in this particular case. On the other hand, we can ask to see the ones that are not relevant. 144 were found to be not relevant by Google. It does not mean we cannot change this, but currently Google does not associate these keywords with our website. And we might want to improve on that, especially if we are saying, show me the ones with bad SERP and bad promotional potential, then we're getting to a situation where, which is the topic of what we're trying to achieve here, to locate keywords that we probably don't need in our system based on its current content. And then we can just go and remove them from the system or deactivate them. Now, an interesting thing to note is that if, for example, you like this one, on-page optimization, it's really strategic to you, but you have no pages that actually describe this content-wise. So Google does not give you any power for this keyword. But if this keyword is very important to you, then you need to create content around this topic. You need to create a blog post, you need to create a page, you need to create an article. And this keyword, if it's turned on, will be automatically used and promoted once this content is available. So that's the idea. This is how it works. This is how you clean your account. And eventually, all these keywords that were shown to you here will actually be used in the relevant pages. For example, we can ask to see, show me all pages with a number of keywords that is more than 1. And Google relevance more than 1. Yes. So this shows you where the keywords are really working hard, where they're actually being implemented in a very effective way. You can see how the tags are built in a way that is very effective. So if we look at the search snippet, on-page SEO is like the keyword that we're promoting is at the beginning, Nitro SEO, the brand, is at the end. This is the most common way to present your title. And you can see here which headers have been used and are available in the web page content itself. And it's very useful to see how the page is performing. Here is another parameter which is very important. It shows for a certain query what was the description and title that was presented to the user. By the way, we monitor this not only in this table, which is currently in an admin panel, but we also show this in a statistical manner here. So this matrix, which comes from Pages dashboard, if you want to go there at any time, you can. It shows you how the meta tags with the keywords are being actually used by Google. So the fact that Google accepted the tags means that also the keywords that we presented to them have been accepted. This is a highly important parameter because it basically means that the tags are relevant to the web page content. And by being accepted, it means that you have a higher chance of being ranked for these keywords. Secondly, here you can see the entire number of web pages you have on your website and the keyword coverage. So this is another parameter that we would recommend for you to take a look at, because in cases where you have just a small amount of green towards your pages, it means that there's not enough keywords to cover your website. And again, this is not mandatory, but it makes the promotion much more effective. Yeah, so I think that was the higher level overview. We're definitely open to any questions you have or to dive into more specific elements. So feel free to raise your hand and we can answer questions or address any issues. By the way, were there any questions in the chat, Dima, that we can answer?
I'm not sure.
Looking for, yes. The tool you use. Share the tools we're using. This is Google Keyword Planner. You just, you write like this. It's connected to your Gmail account and it's free. Okay, let's see what else here. Okay, Corinne, go ahead. And then I see Glenn. Okay. Kevin. Corinne, go ahead once you're available. Zane afterwards. Corinne? Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sorry, I had to give that permission. On the keyword limits on the plans, when it says, like on the license tier for 250 keywords promoting dynamic optimization, those are the ones that are auto adjusted. Is that what that means, the dynamic, or does that just mean those are the only ones that get put into the meta tags, the alt tags, the so forth?
Yes, exactly. So if you look at tier 4, yes. So tier 4, 250 keywords promoting and dynamic optimization flexible. It means that these are the keywords that are being activated for promotion. And monitoring is whether we're monitoring their SERP or not. So you can monitor a keyword like your brand name, but you don't need to promote it, so it doesn't take out of your promotion capacity.
Thanks.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so Glenn, go ahead.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I have a question. You mentioned meta tags versus keywords, and I'm not tech savvy, and I just do a DIY type of a website. But you said you had to add meta tags. What's the difference between adding meta tags and adding keywords?
Okay, so if you look at the metadata, meta tags, you would see that the keywords that we have in the system are
Yes.
integrated into the tags. Now, this, for example, SEO keyword may not be necessarily what this article was written on, but it's a search term that was identified by a keyword research tool as some keyword that has volume. So this keyword, because it has a good score towards this page, was used in the search snippet. You see it here. It's used in the search snippet in order to drive better converting traffic. This keyword is a keyword that is optimized in the system, and it's integrated into the tags. Now, in cases where we do not have any keywords for the metadata, then we take data from the web page itself. For example, the headline. We can use the headline or other parameters or the original metadata or other parameters that we choose from the page in order to create a tag, even if we don't have keywords. So there's two modes. One, that we found the keyword in the system that is suitable for this page, and we're using it. And another one that we don't have a keyword for this page, and we're using info from the page itself.
Okay.
Was that the question? I'm not sure whether
that gives me the answer I needed. The other one, in terms of Google Keyword Planner as well.
Yes.
Is it true? You say it's part of your Gmail account. You
Yes.
have to actually sign up for Google Ads first before that pops up.
Yes.
Is that your experience?
Yes, it's true. You also need to add a credit card, but you're not billed. So you're not necessarily billed unless you launch a campaign. You're not billed. So they want to authenticate you. They want to make sure you open an account. They want you to do AdWords, but you don't have to.
Thank you very much, sir.
Of course. So let's see who's next in line. Kevin, go ahead.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
I have a question about, I know you use the Google Keyword tool that they have. Now, when you went in there, you put a website in there. Those keywords that it pulls up, were those keywords that Google sees that you're getting search content for?
Yes.
They're
Yes.
ones that you're getting impressions for, I guess I should say.
Exactly. And this is why basically we are focusing and recommending this, because Google has all the history of your website, and it will enumerate and it will display whatever they think is relevant plus other variations. But it's definitely should be relevant. So you need to start with a website, put in your website, choose region and language, and it should give you, it's also an indication to how strong your website is. If you're not seeing any results in this method, it means your website has very low exposure in Google, very low. It happens sometimes that you come across this, whether the website was either very new or not. But if the website has been up and running for some time, you can get hundreds to tens of thousands of potential terms. And basically what we do, we start with the highest volume and then go down. The second technique that we were just showing also is when you already have one keyword that you want to expand on. So you chose this one, you found it to be relevant, and you go to start with keyword section. It's different. So now it will not necessarily focus on your website unless you filter here by your website. But let's not do that for now. And it will propose some potential keywords that are around this topic, but not necessarily focusing on your website. And it's 1700. If we make it a little bit, if we make it a little bit more restricted, so we tell it to filter by the website, it will give less and probably different results. Yeah,
One of the
only
things I was wondering about with that, I was just asking, that's the tool you use. So you pull those keywords in. Now, what if I add other keywords? The reason I'm saying that is because I'm looking at this tool as something to help me to grow my blogs and things of that nature, to
yes,
see what kind of I have over 300 blogs on my site. So I
yes,
want to be able to manage those and see which ones are not performing, which ones there's no keywords and all those things like that. So when I put in the keywords, I may put in the ones that Google is seeing. But the problem with that is Google has, for some reason, I'm seen for one specific thing that I really don't care about being seen for. Not like I'm not part of that. I am, but I want more. I want more
yes,
keywords to be seen for. And I wanted to know, when I add those keywords in here, in your system, it's going to show it as low relevance and all those things like that, which is fine. But I want to know how to look at those to say, okay, I need to create content for this. I need to do things
yes,
just like what you were saying there. But I'd like to focus the conversation around just that, being able to look at this and use your tool to say, these are good. I need to focus on these. These are the keywords. If I want these keywords in there, I gotta create content and do
yes.
something with it.
Yes. So usually when you add keywords, after you do this session that we just described now, going to the keyword planner, taking the entire list of what Google proposed and analyze it towards your website, you would probably have a good enough coverage of potential keywords for your website. And this is why the pre-evaluation mode is very useful, because it doesn't take from your package, but it allows you to make an extensive evaluation. But going back to your questions, there's two strategies here. One, I would like a topic, just as an example, SEO automation. It can be your specific niche that you want to expand on. And how do you create content in the system that will actually boost your entire topic authority? And this is one of the nice things about Nitro, is that it allows you to see all the keywords that are related to this topic. You can then decide which ones you want to integrate, and you can export this into a list. To a content generator, whichever tool you prefer, ChatGPT or others. And
Right.
You would say, take this one as my primary keyword, use these three as my secondary keywords. The primary keyword should be included in the URL, in the H1, in the H2, and at least 6 times in the document. The secondary keywords can be used up to 5 times in the document, just spread around logically. And this is the instructions that you give the GPT. Of course, with other parameters, I'm just making it simple. But the important thing is that these keywords, you already have topic authority. And by integrating them and creating content or multiple variances around this, you significantly increase your topic authority around the subject that you chose. And you can do this for any topic you want. This is very different than just going and outsourcing a single keyword, which is what most people do. I think it's okay, but it's not as effective as building your entire website authority by monitoring a cluster and performing with the cluster. So this is one technique that we do recommend. I mentioned last time also that we have a prompt. This prompt, we developed it over time. It learned to work in our system eventually, okay, but I'm not sure it will work under any account in the same way, because it's kind of learning the performance based on the account activity also. But we will be happy to share that with everyone also. But so this is one technique. The second is to go into your pages, and you were talking about which blogs are performing and which blogs are not performing. And now when I'm looking at the pages, I can see which pages, and there may be blogs, there may not be blogs. You can see which one are performing well. You can see which ones are not performing well.
So can you tell me what those mean? What does that score mean? Why is it 200
Yeah.
and some odd %? What does that mean?
Yes, the good score, it's easy. It means you have enough keywords in the system that support the optimization for this page. For example, we go here into this page, we will see that we have a keyword in the system, which is the primary keyword that is being optimized. We have a secondary keyword that is being optimized. The tags are highly optimized. Google sees these keywords as relevant to this page with varying degrees, and it's good. It's worked very effectively. If you go to a red score, the opposite, let's choose a real one, because sometimes you see this on pages without content, error pages, so we'll ignore that. We'll look at a good page. Yes, this one, for example. It's a good page with a good article, yet there are no keywords in the system that are necessarily, this one was forced, sorry, so it's not a good example. This little lock you see here is a manual action that we were instructing the system to use it, not automatically, meaning we gave it an instruction. It's not very common to do. I don't recommend to do it, but it's a function that is available. So basically what you can see here is that no keywords were found relevant to be used in this page. We created the tags, but not based on the keywords. So if this page is relevant to you, you need to look at the content of this page, try to understand what keywords could potentially be optimized for, and either update this page or create another set of content, or add keywords related to this page to the system. SEO professional, maybe, I don't know. SEO tools, yes, SEO tools most certainly could be added here as a keyword. Maybe not the best one, but it's an example. So you have these two techniques, and it gives you the possibility to look at the two extreme situations, and you can also do this from the filter. So if you go here and you would say, show me all pages with or without keywords. So here would be number of keywords assigned to page, apply. So I have 40 without any keywords assigned to them.
Okay.
And if you go to the other side and ask all the pages with keywords assigned to them. So this is how I'm suggesting for you to do this. It gives you a lot of information and very easy to see. Another very, very important filter that we have, which I think you would find useful, but it needs a little bit of time. The system needs a few months, sometimes even more, to gather this information. And that is to see which pages Google assign relevance to. See Google relevance?
Yes.
So it needs to be 1 and up. 1 is the best, as I mentioned. So out of those 400 pages, Google really likes 143 pages and gives them power and gives them search relevancy. So it doesn't mean that all pages are necessarily have power. So it shows you which pages have power, and it also shows you what's the ranks of these pages in the system. You can see the majority of the pages are very strong in terms of coverage, and only a few have a bad score. So this is a very good technique to look at your pages. And you can do the same with keywords. Exactly the same you could do with keywords. You can say to the system, show me all the keywords that actually have relevance to my website in the same technique. Google relevance. Show me all that do not, or show me all that do.
Okay. So the relevance score, is that what it says 1? Does that mean there's one page with it? Does that mean there's a page with relevance on it?
Yeah, there is always a page. So the relevance is, yes, the relevance.
Where's relevance on here? I don't see it. What am I looking at?
Okay, let's take a look. So this one, for example, let's take this one.
It's not listed here. I won't see the relevance out here.
All of them. I just created a filter. I'm saying show me only the
Oh, there
ones.
it is.
Yes, all the ones that I see on this list are with Google relevance. All of them. I've screened those, and you can see that this keyword has Google relevance, at least one, for this page. So it's good. It means it's got a very good relevancy. It's got a very good score. In some cases, it's ranking high. In some cases, not. 5, by the way, is first page. Yes. So yeah. So this is how you can take a look at the system and see how your overall acceptance by Google will look like. Now, there is another topic that we will be introducing soon, and that is in the page section. We will also display here whether a page is indexed or not indexed, which is very important because you have many pages. Not all of them are indexed by Google. They may be crawled, but they're not necessarily served to users. So it would be very useful. Yes. So
does this tool, will your tool, let's say that there's pages I see in my listing that I don't want indexed, like, okay, I've got pages that are irrelevant to anything that I'm using for other, specific things, like certain landing pages and things of that nature. Maybe it's a funnel that has different pages, and I don't need all those others indexed because it just looks bad. Do you have the ability from here to make it non-indexed?
Yes, very easy. You see, you go to the menu to page manage.
Okay.
I just sorted them out by the least performing ones. It doesn't matter, but you can sort by different parameters, and you can just select the ones you don't want indexed, and you press this non-indexed. Alternatively, you can unpromote them also. So it's up to you. It's up to you to decide which technique you want to do. What I would not recommend is deleting those pages, because the system will recrawl them and reintroduce them, because we want to make sure that we are looking at all pages and we optimize all pages. If you add new pages in the future, we will need to find them. This is why deleting is not necessarily the best technique to do it.
So the best thing to do is to non-index them.
Yes, non-index them, exactly.
And
yes.
does that help your overall score, like your authority or something like that with Google? If you have, let's say you have a bunch of pages that are indexed, but they're useless and they're not going to have keywords or anything like that, is it best to go in and take all those and non-index them? So now when Google looks at it, they're looking at good pages. Is that good? Is that a good practice?
Yes. So it's, the answer is not, unfortunately, it's not one answer to every situation.
Right.
In general, let's just take a look at different scenarios. So you see, we have here canonical and optimized, but at the same time, we can say, show me canonized, redirects and errors, for example.
Gotcha.
So these are the main categories that I would deal with, in addition to content that is not necessarily useful. So the first thing about these ones is whether you should delete, whether you should find the source of the problem. The answer is yes, especially if it's on a mass scale. There are some websites with thousands of redirects. The reason is that Google has a concept that is called crawling budget. Not because it's an error to redirect, not because it's not allowed to redirect, but Google will get tired crawling your website if you have too many redirects, and it might result in not crawling other pages, or crawling them much slower, or generally reducing the power of whatever they give your website. So it really depends on how serious and how exaggerated this problem is. This is the first thing. The second thing that maybe you mentioned or referred to is a lot of filters, category tags that you see mostly in blogs, in collections, that are a topic or a category, which basically the page has no content, but you have links to all the other posts and all the other elements. So we can show an example on our website, although on our website it's not a problem. but just to make an example. So if you go here, yes. So these are filters, basically, and it's introduced by the CMS itself. WordPress does that automatically. And under this page, there's actually no content, only articles that fit this category.
Right.
So do you need to show these? Yes or no? The answer is not clear. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
Right.
If it's useful, then you do. By the way, we are able to optimize this.
Silo.
Yes, we are able to optimize these pages. And we can even do it to a reasonable level, quite good level actually, because we know to take components from the links from the page themselves and create a high level of relevancy to this category filter. But if you have exaggerated number of tags with no content, then perhaps you should either not optimize them or non-index them. It's possible. So these are the techniques that you can do.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course. Kevin has asked his question, right? Zane, welcome.
Hello.
Hello. Please go ahead.
So I have two questions. I think one of them it kind of got answered. The first is I have a client that's got 3 related websites. So they all seem to be kind of dragging each other down. I don't know. Did that happen using the same keywords on?
I'm not sure I follow. Can you re-explain, please?
When we did the onboarding, two of the websites were similar. I added a third one, and they're all using the same similar keywords. But when the first one was added, it seems to be going on an upswing. When the second was added, it kind of was subtracted somehow from the first one, and adding the third one now, all 3 of them seem to be kind of a little less. I don't know how to explain it, but not as optimized as when it was just one. Could that be because they're all using the same keywords, or?
No, I don't think so. We'll definitely take a look later on at the specific situation. I mean, sometimes search engines, for different reasons, they decide to rank in different ways. I don't think, unless something in the setup of your hosting tells them it's the same website or the same content, maybe they will see it as canonical lies in some way. I don't know, but usually it does not relate between websites. There's no relation between the website necessarily. But
Okay.
We'll definitely take a look later on and let you know if we see any issues.
I appreciate that. The second one is I turned on the site map optimization. How are you actually doing the site map optimization?
We don't do sitemap optimization, but we do recommend to, after our system generated the tags, we do recommend to submit your sitemap. Submitting your sitemap to via Google Search Console. Again, this is a service that is available to everyone. You do need to register, and you do need to yes, you do need to register, and you do need to provide some authentication to your domain. But then you just need to resubmit your sitemap here. Basically, it tells Google to come and recrawl your pages. So we've updated the meta tags. Now we're saying to Google, hey, come crawl my pages. So
Okay.
that's it. Yeah.
Well, inside the app itself, there was a toggle that I was able to turn on. It said sitemap optimization, and I turned that on several of my websites.
Sorry, where was this page?
In its, I believe it was in setups.
You mean it was shown as a page on the system?
In your
Yes.
app.
The reason being is that you have a version of an HTML version of the sitemap, which is usually redundant. Yes. So it's identified as a page. From our experience, it's not needed. An XML sitemap is what's important and what is being read by the search engine. And an HTML sitemap is an option. Some people use it, some people don't. But as far as we know, it's not really needed to have the two working. So some plugins generate them both. It's like a tick. You say generate this and that. From our experience, it's not needed to do the HTML version.
Yeah, so if you went to settings in your app, if you go to settings, that toggles there in.
You're talking about something else. You're talking about restricting crawling based on sitemap. I understand what you mean. This is a different. Yes, this is a different. This settings is basically telling our system to restrict the optimization based on the sitemap and not based on pages that we identify. So it's a different technique for people who do not want all their website to be crawled, basically. So it's not related to the topic of a page that is identified as an HTML sitemap.
Okay. Well, what I'll do later, because I still don't see what I'm looking at. Maybe it was under the dynamic settings. There's an actual toggle that said sitemap optimization, and so when I toggled,
we recommend not to toggle it.
Okay.
We recommend not to toggle it. The advanced settings is something that we recommend consulting with us before, because it sometimes is needed to address specific situations of users, and but it's not a big problem. I mean, it's just turn it off.
Yeah, I was just curious about that, how it was optimizing that. But all right, well, thank you very much. And if you could take a look at that.
Yes, we will definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if we have any other attendees, and then we can move to the questions that were posted. Go ahead. So you should be able to speak in a minute.
Yeah. Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess it's a basic question, but if a person has a multiple website and we don't have enough allowance to promote all the different keywords, I would like to understand what's happening if I add a website, I promote the keywords, and then I remove the website from Nitro, and I add another one.
Yes.
What am I going to lose?
Okay, so if you look, we show you in the pages metadata, we show you all the tags that were generated, and we allow you to see the original ones and the one that the system generated. Okay, so it's very easy to see. And here you can see the keywords that were added to the tags, or the ones that are non-existing. So to answer your question, when you remove the optimization or remove the snippet or disable the function of promotion for a specific website, you revert to your original tags. That's it.
Okay.
And you can put another website instead. You can still keep the keywords in an Excel file and re-add it later on. It's not a problem. And that's the answer.
So potentially I could copy the optimized tags,
yes,
and manually add to the different pages. It's time consuming, but
yes,
the end result would be kind of the same, right?
Yes. So let's talk about that 1 minute. The answer is yes, you can do that, but let's just see what you are missing by doing that.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, of course. So if I take the word SEO automation, it's just what we did before. Yes, and we'll choose just a few of these keywords here. This volatility is something that our system, I would say, fights. Our system tries to adjust itself based on search engines indicators. For example, the Google relevance, for example, other parameters that we collect. And if you take the keywords that you did once and upload them, the system will, there's no system basically to recover lost positions. And whenever our system is processed, whenever it runs, it reevaluates the entire set of tags and the entire set of keywords that were promoted, and it readjusts them. So let me give you an example. I'll try to see if we can give an example here. Let's just choose this one here. I'm not sure it's a good example, but we'll see. Let's look here. And you can see here how the system changed the positions of the keywords, moved them from one page to another in order to gain a better position until it reached first page.
Yeah. And every data point, if I understand correctly, is a new reprocessing, is a refresh, right?
Correct. And you can do the correct only for SERP also. So if you just, if you just want a SERP update, you can also do that. It will not reshuffle the tags. So if you only do this, it will just give you an updated SERP, but it will not do the auto-adjusting and the corrective measures. I mean, it's up to you to decide, but it's possible just to get the SERP data.
Yeah. And just as an idea, how frequently should we refresh this?
The recommended time interval is 1 month, unless you have a reason to do it on a shorter time. So because at the end of the day, you get a trend, despite the amount of processing, you get a trend that will generally be similar. So the fact that you have 5 data points here are not really that important. But what's important is that the system gets the data from the indicators and makes a corrective adjustment. So from our experience, once a month is fine.
Okay.
Yes, but you can run it more often if you have different reasons. For example, if you added content, or if you're trying to build more authority, things of that nature. Yeah.
And sorry, a side question. You seems to have like 400 pages, which is great. A new website probably is starting with a small number of pages. What is a good number of pages that we should target to have in a brand new site to start building a bit of authority?
From our experience, it's very difficult to rank sites with about 10 pages, although it's possible, but it's very difficult. When you move from 50 to 100, it starts to get some more power, of course, depending on the content. When you move to the hundreds, then you really get a chance to rank for normal volume keywords or better volume keywords that you have in order to to really get traction. So that's my recommendation. Try to get above 50 and possibly to the hundreds somehow.
Okay, and this is basically blogs, right? Articles.
It can be blogs. It can be products on a e-commerce site.
Yeah.
It can do many different things. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. Okay, so let's see if we have anyone else waiting. Okay, so let's just see if we have any. Oh, I see one hand here. Oh, okay, answered already. Okay, so let's see if we have any questions in the list that we can answer, and then we can conclude. So yes, of course, there will be a recording sent to everyone. Yes, we do offer an onboarding service to help with the setup, of course. It's visible from our website. Just press this free onboarding and select the time that you wish here. There's a question here about e-commerce site with categories. I think we discussed this already, that adding too many tags like blogs, categories, products is something that is not very useful for SEO optimization. For example, on our website, even if it's an article, we do not or resources. Why is it appearing as a resources? I'm not sure. Yes, because this is what we, yes. So yeah, let's choose this one. Yes, so we have very few categories that we use for the blog, but in general, we do not recommend adding too many categories, especially if there are filters for others. So you need to be very limited in the amount of times you do that, especially with archives and with product classifications that are redundant in terms of information. But sometimes you face this because the website has been built and the CMS generates them automatically. And sometimes it can become a nightmare. Yes, someone is asking about the new tier. So we're added a tier 5 recently, which is about 4 times more powerful than tier 4 that was before. It's even more in some cases than what it was before. So the optimization was extended to 1,000, SERP to 4,000, web pages much more than 16,000. So it's a very powerful account. We definitely recommend it. As a lifetime deal, it's an amazing proposition, and I would definitely take it up, especially for larger accounts with more needs. How many pages? Yes. Often does Google? Yes. The question of how often does Google crawl your website? This is something that we have been asked many times. Google usually crawls a website periodically based on usually its size and the amount of traffic. However, for normal websites, a few hundred pages, it's usually done once a week. We can actually take a look. You see here 16th May, 11th May, 8th May, 10th May. So it's actually doing every few days on our website. You can take a look on any website through Google Search Console and see. We did not submit this manually, so it records the time that Google actually came to the website and read the sitemap. So it can be from a few days to a month. But by submitting your sitemap, you expedite this process somehow. So I definitely recommend it, especially after we do the reconfiguration of our settings and we start operating the system. I'll definitely recommend to resubmit the sitemap. Yes, someone asks if we are doing 3 runs in a month, is it redundant? It's redundant only if you're doing it because you want it to affect something. You need to do the processing only if there is a need, meaning you've added keywords, you've added pages, something in your content strategy has changed, then you need to do it more often. Because remember, whenever we add or remove even a single keyword, it might affect the tags. It might regenerate the tags. It might move the tags in different ways. So after changing the keywords, I would definitely recommend or adding content.
Oh.
Yes. So I think we answered most of the questions. If I missed anything, then please let me know. Other than that, I think everything is good. Good. So I would like to thank everyone for attending. And it was a pleasure. And if you have any comments, feel free to send us a message at any time. Thank you very much, everyone.
Yes, thank you.
Great webinar.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate this. Thank you. Thank you.
I have one quick question for you.
Oh, yes.
If I pick up the tier 5, does that stack on top of the 2 tiers I already got, the two tier 4s?
It's up to you. We can allow it if you want. It's up to you. I mean, we can allow it if you want. It's by default not allowed, but we can allow it if you want.
Okay. All right.
So there's no
Thank
way
you.
to there's no way to upgrade from tier 2 to tier 3.
From tier 2 to tier 3, of course there is. Why? I'm sure there is.
Okay.
From 2, of course, you can upgrade between all tiers, as far as I know. Dima, is this correct?
Yes.
Including tier 5?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you know how to do that? So I don't really see a good way of doing it at AppSumo.
Yes, I'll show you where you go from, although I'm not in an AppSumo account. But basically you go to this $sign, and here you would have manage your AppSumo plan just under in a box. You can log into your account now and see it.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
and you press it and it will take you to the upgrade, and then you need to select the section that talks about an upgrade, and you can change your plan. It's supported. It should be supported. If you have any issue, then let us know and we'll resolve it.
I can project to show if needed.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. So I'll make you projector.
Yeah, I only see monthly and yearly on that when I go to that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
not the right
Batman.
place to
I
upgrade.
was on the wrong one.
Yes.
It doesn't. It just goes to my site. It just goes to the page. It doesn't let me upgrade or anything.
Yes, so Dima will show how it's done.
Yeah, if from Nitro systems there is manage AppSumo plan, not just plan and add-ons. This is not AppSumo part, but manage AppSumo plan. It directs you to the products section on the AppSumo, and this is my test account with tier 2. And at the right side there is drop down with select, and here is a change plan. Also there is refund, and leave review and others options. And under change plan, you can switch to any tier. You can downgrade, upgrade, and here is tier 5. So you can just click next, and you upgrade it. So and the system automatically pick up it. Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay. Okay, great. So let's just see if there's anyone else. If not, then I really thank you all. And as I said, we're here. Whatever you need,